If you're tired of the same games dominating the Battle Royale landscape, then Off the Grid might be the next game you should be checking out. Off the Grid is set in a futuristic world where humans can voluntarily have their arms and legs chopped off and replaced with cybernetic technology in hopes of winning millions of dollars by taking place in a live broadcast, shoot to kill, winner take all, Hunger Games style competition that all plays out in a little place called Teardrop Island. Now, before we go any further, there is no paid advertisement here. I'm just a dude who really started enjoying Off the Grid. However, Off the Grid has a lot to unpack. So let's get into some of the game's appeal, the gameplay, and some of Off the Grid's pros and cons. Now, Off the Grid does a solid job of toting itself as the world's first ever extraction battle royale shooter. Once you drop into Teardrop Island, it's not just about taking out the other teams. You have to extract these little things called hexes. Whenever you find a hex on Teardrop, you can extract it by going to one of the many extractors that are strewn all across Teardrop Island. Cool thing about the hexes is they aren't just like a point-based thing, they actually help you unlock the game's customizable weapons, skins, and start building your loadouts. So rather than your usual just play and grind out weapons, these extractions add a whole other level of high stakes to the BR experience. Because there are so many extractors across the map, everybody is trying to do an extraction, and it creates just like this high action, fast-paced gunfight seemingly happening non-stop all over the map. There's literally never a moment to be caught lacking. No matter where you are on the map, there is totally going to be a fight to get involved in. And if you're not involved in a fight, you should probably prepare for one, because I guarantee you a team is pushing you right now. Now, as for humor, Off the Grid has no problem carpet bombing the dialogue with F-bombs. If you're part of the younger generation of gamer, I'm not going to tell you to not play this game. I'm not your parents, but if your parents are not a fan of harsh language, put the headset on when you're playing this game. Game's tagline is Teardrop Island desperately needed a savior. Too bad it got you. This is ultimately foreshadowing the non-stop berating and degrading the game's audio is gonna throw at you as its player.
You regurgitated cum bubbles.
Now, though it's quite funny in the beginning, I personally feel like the game kinda teeters on annoying as fuck, as it just constantly shoves the same humor in your face over and over again. The narration tends to feel like that one annoying teammate who isn't really that good at the game, so they constantly try and force jokes like, dude, you're dead, just either shut the fuck up or give call-outs. What I've come to notice with Off the Grid is because of the amount of in-game mechanics, there tends to be quite a skill gap in the lobbies, which creates this whole, like, big hunter versus small prey vibe. One thing I will say I love about Off the Grid is it being a third-person shooter, but unlike the industry leader in battle royales and third-person shooter, which is arguably Fortnite, Off the Grid allows you the opportunity to shoulder swap. The ability to go back and forth between shoulders and left and right can really help you get the edge on somebody coming around one corner or the other. You mix that with the countless ways to create mobility in Off the Grid, and these gunfights get incredibly fun and quite dynamic. Every player is known as a zero, and every single one of us come equipped with the same type of tech, and that's a jetpack and cyber limbs. Definitely take your time to learn both. I'll admit the learning curve can be a little heavy, but here's a couple of tips to help you out. As for the jetpack, you're going to want to use the pack's propulsion system in order to really get across the map. You can achieve this ability by aiming downward towards the ground and then immediately pull up. Master this aspect and you will be zipping across the map in no time. You can pair the jetpack with cyber limbs like leaper legs or hammerheads, for example, to either reposition in gunfights, or if it gets too sweaty, just take off. The cyber limbs are the tech in your arms and legs, and every one of them has a different ability. For example, the skunk paw shoots a cloud of gas, you've got your recon drone that scans all enemies in the area, and then you got your buzz killer drone, which has an attack turret on it. That one's badass. It may take some time to familiarize yourself with the different combinations the cyber limbs offer, but trust me, it's worth it. Like, for example, most people tend to use the hook shot arm wrong. This is similar to Pathfinder and Apex Legends, where it's a grapple hook that helps you reposition. However, if you pair the hook shot with the Ripper arm, you can literally pull anybody directly into a kill shot. I'm not going to tell you what the Ripper arm is. You can find out for yourself and let me know how much fun it is. It's so much fun to deal with. And just because you have the missile launcher legs does not mean you have to launch the missiles. The launch pad for the missiles acts like a UAV, so if you've got a team that's really working well together, you guys can now choose to either launch the missiles or just go and push without them knowing. But if you're gonna do this tactic, be careful about doing it in the open. Whenever you pull out the launch pad, you kind of become a non-moving target, and in off the grid with a non-moving target, you will get smoked faster than a blunt at Snoop's house.
The fuck is you doing?
Now, though I have become a big fan of the game, I can't just build it up without highlighting some of the setbacks I've experienced as well. First off being the game's optimization. If you're trying to play off the grid at a high level, especially on PC, you blatantly just can't. It runs fairly smooth on consoles with small bugs and glitches here and there, but playing it on a PC at a high level is brutal. The bugs and glitches are a little more grandiose on PC for some reason, and the frame rate drop is atrocious. Now, I can give the game a little bit of a break with this, seeing as how it is still technically in its beta stages, but on that note, the beta thing also raises some concerns. See, when a game has a beta, it's supposed to be just that, a beta, something that everybody can jump in, play, report back to the developers, then they can shut down, make their repairs, and ultimately work towards a full release, right? However, the beta started in October of 2024, and here we are a few months later in January of 2025, still in the beta. Now, though their developers are doing updates regularly, they still haven't said when the beta will end or when a full version will be released. However, they are already charging for a monthly membership called Pro, so a lot of people are starting to wonder if this beta is really just a cash grab. As far as charging for things in beta, I'm not an owner or a game developer, but I would argue they probably do this because they ultimately might need the funding to finish, right? But when you take into account that Off the Grid is a cryptocurrency game, well, that's starting to rub a lot of people the wrong way. For example, right now in the game, you can unlock customizable items and weapons, but say you get some that you don't want to use, you can go and post them on the game's marketplace for in-game cryptocurrency. Now, though this might sound like a good idea, the problem is everybody's being greedy as hell and setting astronomical prices for the lowest of level guns because everybody's just trying to make the quick payday. Now, just to show both sides of the story, I can say that though they offer this, they don't really force you to utilize it. I haven't spent a dime on this game, and I have unlocked plenty of things simply by extracting hexes. Now, I don't care about the cryptocurrency thing. To me, it's not really that mind-blowing that a modern age game is using a modern age form of funding or operating on the blockchain. However, this has tended to be the kiss of death to most, if not all, games who have operated like this in the past. Now, though some unfortunate setbacks I've just shed some light on, I am still hopeful that Off the Grid will overcome these hurdles and deliver a full game to the market that we can all enjoy. Be sure to let me know your thoughts if you've already checked out Off the Grid. Drop those gamer tags so we can all drop in together, but until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you soon.